Hello, beautiful souls. How are you guys doing? I'm sitting in the beautiful vortex of Mount Shasta, California. You can see Mount Shasta right behind me. I'm just soaking in these powerful solstice energies. Today is the day after solstice. And since coming to Mount Shasta, I've been connecting very powerfully with the energies of Ascended Master Sanat Kumara. And today I'm just spontaneously making this video because this energy wanted to come through. It's very potent right now. And for those of you who don't know who Sanat Kumara is, he is one of the most powerful ascended masters of this universe. He is one of the most ancient ascended masters of the universe. It is said that his home planet is the planet of Venus, and the beings of Venus live, if you look at the 3D version of Venus, it's just a desolate planet with just lots of volcanic activity and poisonous gases in the third dimension. But in the higher etheric dimensions, Sanat Kumara actually resides in the 9th dimension of Venus. And the beings in the 9th dimension of Venus live in an etheric city. So it's not a physical city, but it's an etheric city that is very, very advanced. And that's his home planet. And the beings that live in that home planet in the 9th dimension are said to be 100 million years more advanced spiritually than humanity compared to where we are in our current space-time vortex. And we are moving very fast in this evolution, so we will be in the next couple of 100 years moving very fast and catching up to the higher planes of existence for those of us who are serious on our ascension path. And Sanat Kumara really wanted to come in strongly today. I will be channeling a message directly from this beautiful being, this fatherly presence known as Sanat Kumara. But before I channel his energy, I wanted to tell you a little bit more about him so you can get a feel for him and understand where he comes from. So he has Sanat Kumara has a very deep connection with planet Earth and humanity. He is one of the most loving fathers of humanity, and he first came to Earth approximately 18.5 million years ago in the times of Lemuria. And at that time, humanity was still in its infancy stages. In the times of Lemuria, about 18.5 million years ago, we were still etheric beings. We came to Earth as 6th density beings. We were not physically human. We were not physically masculine or feminine. We were androgynous, which means humans walked on this planet as both sexes, encapsulated in one body. That means we had not split our consciousness apart into duality yet. We were still living in unity consciousness. And what that means is that we were experiencing this earth plane as a heavenly existence, as a literal Garden of Eden. And we had all of our 12 strands. In some case, we had our 24 strands, and in very rare cases, we had 48 strands of DNA activated. And what that means is that we were walking on the earth plane, but we were connected to all of the higher dimensions all at once. And eventually we stepped down our vibrations because we wanted to experience physical reality. We wanted to experience what it feels like to be separate from God and to forget our true angelic nature for a while and play in the realms of duality. We wanted to experience what it's like to have sex with another person. We wanted to experience what it's like to drink wine and get drunk. So all of these things, all of these allurements of the physical realm caused us to slowly forget who we are, and we got trapped in the realms of density, because the more we lowered our frequency, the more we entangled with physical pleasure and the allurements of the physical realm, we slowly, over millions of years, begin to forget our true angelic nature, and we split apart our consciousness into male and female. And we wanted to know what it's like to know another person from a different perspective, rather than being all knowing as a sixth density being and having all the information within us. We wanted to forget who we are so we can slowly go through the process of remembering again. And there were times when Earth, as you all know, because of this split in our vibration, because we lowered our vibration, we began to um, fall trapped to lust. We began to fall in the traps of lust, of hatred, of war, of savagery. So all of these acts that we committed that go against the divine law and order, they caused a lot of disturbance on this planet, and because of that, because of because of breaking the laws of the universe, we were no longer living in harmony with the way we were designed to live. We begin to get trapped in the cycles of karma and birth and rebirth and reincarnation. Before we were in sixth density, we could live for thousands of years because we were not literally physical. But once we stepped down our vibration into the third density, we began to have shorter lifespans. We forgot who we are, and we used to come back in cycles of reincarnation and not even remember what we're coming to Earth for. And we would plunder our lives and not go anywhere spiritually. So we kind of became trapped in this evolutionary cycle where it was not allowing us to get out of this cycle. And Earth was at one point when the heavenly councils reviewed planet Earth and all the war, chaos, and destruction that we are causing, they all agreed that humanity is leading itself to a point where eventually we would destroy ourselves and destroy this planet. So at that point is when our Heavenly Father, Sanat Kumara, who holds so much love for humanity, he holds the title of the Regent of this universe. He's the Vice Regent of God, and he is the keeper of the flames. He's known in the spiritual hierarchy as the Lord or Regent of this universe, and he's a ninth dimensional being. So he oversees the spiritual evolution of this planet. And when he saw that humanity is coming close to a point where we may destroy ourselves, he intervened, and he came before God. He came before the throne of God, and he pleaded for humanity. Because if it were not for divine intervention, if it were not for Sanat Kumara's intervention, then humanity would surely be destroyed. And in the 1940s or 50s, after the World War II, it was pretty much we had sealed our fate, and it seemed like there would be a World War III within a few decades, and humanity would cease to exist after that. And that unfortunate fate was actually accepted at one point in the heavenly kingdoms, and it was thought that all was lost. But divine intervention took place because Sanat Kumara stepped in, and he came with his legendary army of 144,000 souls from Venus. And it is said that Lord Gautama Buddha, Jesus Christ, many of the ascended masters who walked this planet were amongst those 144,000 souls. And all of these 144,000 souls are very pure, high-frequency souls from all over this universe who form a fraternity known as the Great White Brotherhood Sisterhood. And Sanat Kumara is actually the spiritual guru or the leader of the Great White Brotherhood Sisterhood. And the whole reason for this spiritual hierarchy to be put in place was to assist humanity in its evolution. And so Lord Sanat Kumara came before the throne of God with his army of 144,000 ascended masters, and he pleaded to God to save Earth. He said, "Do not snuff out Terra." In the heavenly kingdoms, Earth was known as Terra. And he said to God, he pleaded to God with tears in his eyes. He pleaded for humanity. And that touches my soul. That's why I have such a deep connection with him. And he pleaded to the heavenly councils and the angels. And he said, I will descend into the realms of matter, and I will be the one who will be the beacon of light for humanity during its darkest days. Because the way spiritual mechanics or quantum mechanics works is that if a planet has lost all of its spiritual powers, if there are no more spiritual people who are incarnate on the planet at any given point, then there's no more hope for the planet, and it's doomed for destruction. Because without spiritual power, or without people who are dedicated on the path of purifying themselves and holding the higher frequencies of the higher dimension while incarnated on Earth, that's what's needed to keep humanity and all of these subsystems alive, because that is the connection that Earth needs with the higher dimensions of the heavenly councils in order to keep going. So you can say that the spiritual flame has to be kept alive by a human being in a physical incarnation. And after World War II, the world had become such a desolate place that all the spiritual beings had long left this planet, and nobody wanted to incarnate here, because even being an incarnate on this planet means that you have to sacrifice so much of yourself for humanity, and they had made so many sacrifices that nobody was left who wanted to volunteer. And in those times, the highest of the high, Sanat Kumara, who resides in the 9th dimension, he has no reason to give up his heavenly abode to come to Earth and face the hardships of Earth. Yet that's exactly what he did. And he pleaded before the throne of God, and he said, do not snuff out Terra, for I will be the one. It actually brings tears to my eyes every time I recall this story. And he said, I will be the one who holds the light until humanity once again learns how to walk and learns how to hold the light on their own. And I will be the one to remind them of their ways. And at that time, he was pledging to go alone. And that is such a big sacrifice for such an advanced being. And when he was pleading before the throne of God, from the distance, all of his disciples, the 144,000 disciples, came marching towards the throne of God from many different directions of this universe. And the whole army of these disciples was led by Lord Buddha, who was one of his main disciples. And they said, we will not let you go alone. They said, we will not let you go alone, O Master. We will go before you to prepare the land for you. So they came, these 144,000 disciples came out of their love and reverence. They came to set the stage for Sanat Kumara to incarnate. And it is said that for 1,000 years they came in the 1950s. They created an etheric city just above the Gobi Desert near the Mongolian area, the area known as Mongolia currently. And they created an etheric city known as Shambhala. And that etheric city still exists in the higher plains above the Gobi Desert. And that's where Sanat Kumara was supposed to be stationed. And he was stationed just one octave above the physical plane, just enough for him to be in the density of Earth but not be touched by it. So for 1,000 years, these 144,000 souls, these brave souls, came in the physical form so their master would not have to go through these hardships. And they built the city with their own hands. And so Sanat Kumara actually held an incarnation in the city of Shambhala, and he held it long enough for Earth to have a fighting chance to survive. And since then, Earth, he brought it up to the 1987, the year 1987, and I think he departed the Earth plane shortly after that, because in 1987 we reached a point where the collective vibration of Earth had sufficiently been raised So just by the presence of the city of Shambhala and these 144,000 souls incarnating on earth and holding the frequency of the higher 9th to 12th dimensions, they held these higher angelic frequencies in human form, and that allowed humanity just enough light to be able to make it past the point of the harmonic convergence. So in 1987, another pulse was sent from the great central sun, from Prime Creator, to assess where humanity had reached in its level of consciousness. And it was determined that we had just raised our frequency enough. Until that point, there had been enough souls that have incarnated on earth who are able to hold a frequency of light, who are able to hold an angelic frequency, that they were now the heavenly councils were now able to allow humanity to graduate and to ascend. So the very fact that we are ascending today is not because of anything we have done. In fact, we owe a great debt to the ascended masters like Lord Sananda, who is known as Yeshua, and also Sanat Kumara, Lord Buddha, and hundreds and hundreds, actually 144,000 of these masters have incarnated on earth and held the light for humanity so that we have a fighting chance to survive. We were actually doomed for destruction otherwise. So we owe a great debt of gratitude with humility for these masters who allowed us to continue into this point of evolution. So with that said, he was also known as the Ancient of Days. So Sanat Kumara is known as the Ancient of Days in the heavenly councils because he is one of the oldest existing souls in this universe. Yet he is also known as the Youth of 16 Summers. So he also holds the title of the Youth of 16 Summers, which means in his appearance he is childlike, in his appearance he is innocent, in his appearance he looks like a 16-year-old boy with great power, commands great respect, yet is so innocent and childlike, like a lamb. So with that said, I want to take some time and connect with the energies of the spiritual master Sanat Kumara and see what message wants to come through today. So I'm opening up my channeling chakras. I'm asking for the 12 primordial archangels to create a powerful pillar of light around me. I'm asking for the Pleiadian, Andromedan, and Arcturian emissaries of light to create an interdimensional cone, an evolutionary cone, an intergalactic cone to strengthen my connection to the higher dimensions where Sanat Kumara resides, and asking for the great master Sanat Kumara. It is my true joy. It is a humbling experience that I am afforded this opportunity to connect with you, and I request you to come in very clearly and channel a message of light of the highest frequency for humanity, for what we need to hear right now. And I'm asking for an earth cone to be placed below me so that I may connect with the most loving frequencies of our beloved planet Gaia and nothing less. Dear ones, it is I, Sanat Kumara, the one you may know of as the Ancient of Days. And I come here today with a message to remind you who you are and who you are becoming. You are one of the most prized creations of God. and you are one of the most ancient creations of God. You came to earth in ethereal form. Earth was your playground where you wanted to experience all that physicality offered you. You wanted to play in the fields. You wanted to feel the wind against your skin. You wanted to experience what it was like to experience hunger, pleasure, food, and the sexual pleasures afforded in sexual union, which are afforded in the third dimension. Initially, you were etheric in nature as sixth density beings. You would reside in the earth plane with all of your powers activated. And as time went by, being the curious lot that you are, you lowered yourself from the sixth dimension. The sixth dimension is that of sacred geometry, where you held all of your gifts and powers intact. You had the remembrance of God, the awareness of God consciousness intact at all times. And you had many magical gifts and abilities which allowed you to teleport, fly, and you even had the ability to morph your beingness and merge with plants, trees, and animals to experience what it would be like. You wanted to experience all perspectives of what life has to offer. And as you exhausted these experiences, you lowered yourself into the fifth dimension of unity consciousness, where you were closer to physicality, yet you were still retaining most of your etheric powers and your God consciousness and remembrance of your angelic nature. You then lowered yourself into the fourth dimension, where you first began to experience duality. You originally started off as androgynous beings. And in the fourth dimension, for the first time, you separated yourself from holding God consciousness, holding the unity consciousness of both sexes in one being. You separated yourself into man and woman. And this process occurred millions of years ago in your evolution. You gradually grounded yourself into the third dimension, where you became fully physical and you became reliant on the physical dimension and the needs of the physical dimension to sustain your bodies. Your bodies previously had the ability to live for infinite amounts of time. Yet in the fourth and the third dimension, once you became reliant on food and water and air for your sustenance, your lifespan reduced drastically, and your remembrance of who you are also reduced drastically as you stepped down your vibrations and entered the cycles of birth and rebirth. And as you did so, you created karma for yourself from the unloving actions towards others. And because of these unloving actions, because of this forgetful nature, you forgot your angelic nature and truly got trapped, in a way of speaking, in the physical realm millions of years ago. The veil of amnesia was placed over your mind, so that you could act from your own free will and free choice. And at that time, it was your free will to separate your consciousness from God consciousness. You wanted to experience what it would be like to be separate from God. And you even forgot that you were angelic in nature, and you began to believe that you were merely human. My dear ones, now after hundreds of thousands of years of evolution, after many cycles of birth and rebirth, many rise and fall of ancient civilizations such as Lemuria, Mu, Atlantis, you are now once again wanting to remember your true nature and your angelic roots. You are now coming to a point in your evolution where you are forgetting that you are remembering that, in fact, you have had enough of this experience of playing in karma, of playing with duality, of playing in misery and suffering, and you have concluded that forgetting your true nature and forgetting your connection with God only leads to pain and needless suffering, and you no longer wish to experience this for yourself and for your future generations. So now you are wanting to once again remember your true angelic roots, recall your true identities, and rise up from the third dimension into the fourth dimension. This is the process that is currently taking place on Earth. At this time, many of you are beginning to once again sense the energy systems known as chakras within your bodies. You are developing your telepathy, you are developing your extrasensory perceptions, you are beginning to remember how to astral travel, you are activating your Merkaba light bodies, and you are also developing interests such as astrology, Reiki, tarot, and you are once again wishing and expressing your desire to connect with the angelic realms, as many channelers are beginning to stream in the knowledge from the higher dimensions to help humanity remember who you truly are. These are all activities that reside within the fourth dimension. And once again, as you rise up in consciousness, you will begin to see physical changes taking place within your body. You will begin to realize that your body can live longer when you give it the proper natural, organic, vegetarian diet. When you realize that moving away from dense foods such as meat, dairy, and other products that are not in alignment with your higher dimensional DNA that is coming online, you are beginning to remember that you can extend your lifespans. You can live a much healthier and much more fruitful life by aligning yourself with these higher dimensional attributes. You are all currently going through the passageway or the tunnel of the fourth dimension, and once again, some of you are even beginning to connect with the unity consciousness field of the fifth dimension, where you are expanding your hearts, where you are remembering that you are not separate from one another, and that your success as a root race in this universe, your way out of the lower densities of karma, is to unite with one another and unify your efforts towards establishing peace and harmony on this planet. My dear ones, I would like to explain the process that is currently underway and what you can expect in the near future. It is very important that you understand the process of evolution that you are going through, and that you do not become afraid of the changes that are taking place on the earth plane right now. Many of you are currently going through this transformation as you realize that you no longer wish to vibrate in the lower dimensions. And in order for you to be able to handle the incoming galactic gamma wave frequencies that are being sent to you from the higher dimensions, from the North Star known as Alcyone, you must clear your bodies of residual negative energies. You must detoxify your bodies. You must drink clean, fresh water and pure organic foods, and provide the body with all the nutrients and vitamins that it needs. You must once again quieten your mind so that you are not plagued by toxic thoughts. You must disconnect from your media. You must learn how to be at peace with yourself and make peace with all aspects of your life that seem out of harmony. Your relationships, your jobs. And this is the reason for all of this discomfort and imbalances that you are currently experiencing in your life. So do not be discouraged by all of this change and transformation, but remember that you are going through one of the most powerful and potent processes of transformation. As you raise your vibration in consciousness and remember who you are, it is as if you are walking between two dimensions. And in fact, many souls are currently walking between three dimensions, where your physical vessel is operating in the physical plane of the third dimension, whereas your emotions are vibrating in the fourth dimension, and your consciousness and your spirit is reaching out for unity consciousness in the fifth dimension. So it is as if you are in three worlds at once, and walking in three different planes of existence, of planes of consciousness at the same time, is no walk in the park, my dear ones. For that, I applaud you. I applaud you for your courage, for coming as my stewards, as the front runners, as the forerunners for this physical ascension, so you can go through this process yourself and then allow humanity to remember how to go through this process as a collective. The molecular structure of your brain is redefining itself, and ancient parts of your brain are reactivating. Areas of your brain that have been dormant for hundreds of thousands of years, in fact, millions of years, are now coming online, and you are beginning to think new thought patterns, and you are feeling an urge to let go of all toxic patterns from your life that no longer serve you. So you see, all the discomfort and distress of the loss that you are feeling, the physical pain that you are feeling, this is all because of these tremendous changes that are taking place within a very short span of time, and it can take its toll on your physical vessel. So I'm here to remind you that you are not physically ill. Give yourself permission to rest whenever you feel this discomfort, and begin a process of communicating with your body. Allow yourself to communicate with your body and ask what it needs. If it needs more sleep, then may it be so. Eat lightly and drink lots of pure fluids. This will help you ease your discomfort, as it will slowly refine all the lower density elements that exist within your bloodstream and raise your frequency so that you can hold more light within your bodies. Your internal digestive systems are also being transformed, and you are experiencing many physical symptoms of headaches, nausea, lack of sleep, disorientation, ringing in the ears. All of these are normal. All of this pain and discomfort is normal because you can imagine yourself in an evolutionary chamber of time where the changes you go through in 1 decade are equivalent of the physical changes a normal species goes through in 1,000,000 years. The next phase of this ascension is slowly being unraveled by the angelic realms. The energies are being increased and stepped up as humanity reaches for the next rung of its evolutionary ladder. And your Earth's orbit is being lifted as Earth itself goes through electromagnetic and cosmic energy, and it is going through its own dimensional shift along with human consciousness. So bring your awareness to this fact that you are going through one of the most historic, most powerful shifts that humanity has ever known. And know that the more you let go of fear, the more you dedicate yourself and wholeheartedly accept this path of evolution, the easier it will get. Do not despair for the loved ones that you have lost, for there are many souls departing this earth plane right now, and that is also part of the grand design. Know that you have not lost these loved ones, but rather many souls will be ascending into the next plane of consciousness by leaving their physical vessels and reincarnating in their new fifth dimensional bodies, which last longer and are much more resilient and are much more in tune with the frequencies of fifth dimensional Earth. So know that this process of ascension can take place either in your physical vessel intact or through the process of death and transformation. Both options exist. And also know that many souls have chosen to depart this earth dimension altogether and move on to other planes of existence. And that is also exactly how it should be. For many souls do not carry the sufficient vibration of evolution needed to exist in the future generations of Earth. Earth is becoming a city of light. Earth is going to be an ascended planet, and you will see the unfoldment of all of this in the next decade until 2032 or so. At that time, the process will become very obvious, and it will accelerate to a point where the splitting of the worlds has fully solidified. There will be a group of souls in New Earth, and there will be a lower timeline which is allowed to exist until the lower dimensions are completely extinguished from your space-time continuum and Earth fully graduates to its ascended state in the near future, very near future. So do not despair. Allow, embrace this change, and make all the necessary changes in your life as if it is the end of time and you are preparing for a new cycle of time, for that is exactly how it is. I love you with all my heart. I appear in your dreams when you call upon me before you sleep. I am your spiritual guide. I am your most loving Father. And it would be my greatest honor and pleasure to connect with you if you seek me with an open heart. I am your most loving Father. Thank you for tuning into this message. Thank you for your time and attention. And most importantly, thank you for the most important work that you are doing to assist with the ascension of humanity. You are dearly beloved, and I am Sanat Kumara. the Ancient of Days, signing out. That was a very beautiful message, and I thank Ascended Master Sanat Kumara for coming through. Being in this vortex of Mount Shasta is definitely amplifying the connection, and I hope this message helped you. And my intention is to bring more and more of these messages from the angelic realm to help remind us who we are and at what point of evolution we are currently. And with all my love, I'm signing out until next time.